true of any song, to do it justice, you need to put yourself in the right frame of mind for that song. Like Barracuda, you have to, before you play a note, get into beast mode where you're going to just put every ounce of your energy into that thing for it to be right, for it to feel right. And so a lighthearted song, you know, it's just got to have that lighthearted feel. And being a professional entertainer, you need to know how to take a crappy day where all this stuff went wrong and you're just completely bummed out by whatever. Go up on that stage and get that perfectly lighthearted feel and make that happen. That's what we do as actors and actresses on stage. But in particular, Mistral Wind, you can't just play these notes. You can learn all those notes and you can play them and it can sound right. But until you have taken yourself into this other place that you want to take the listener, you've got to take yourself there first. So before you start playing those first notes of Mistral Wind, you've got to be in this other place. And because if you're not there, you can't take your listener there. So maybe it would be wise for you to have a really clear understanding of what those lyrics are. And they are fairly enigmatic. You can put your own interpretation on them, which is what you do with any song anyway. But so Mistral Wind, God, it talks about a place that there's nothing like it on earth except in here. So then when you're playing that song, you are in that place and you're transporting the audience to that place. And then, you know, like most Heart fans that I know, it's their favorite song. And I think it's their favorite song because it is a vehicle to transport you to this other place. And the other place is really magical because it is a place that represents absolute freedom. Anything can happen here. And it's a remarkable place to be. So Nancy composed this beautiful, otherworldly guitar part that rather than use tab, pick it up by ear, because Nancy's playing is really special. And if I were to play that part, it would be probably more like... So after that wonderful intro, it goes into the... So you want a sound that has got some dirt in it, of course, but not so much that you don't have much tone. Like a good way to operate, I think, is to back it off a little bit and have a little bit of cleanliness in your tone. I always run stereo, and I have one amp a little bit dirtier than the other because, you know, the more gain you have on an amp, the better sustain you get. And that gain on one amp will give you the sustain there, and that will help the sustain on the other amp. So when it goes, so then you're kind of biting the string. I like to go diagonally a little bit with the string, like that, and then let the pick touch the string, and then it touches your thumb, creating the. And then I mute it at the same time. Yeah, so a good ensemble player is very frugal with his composition. Even while she's singing this verse, I'm doing, but I'm in a lower register that's below the range of her voice, and it's a rhythmic part that is dampened, so it doesn't get in the way too much. And notice when I do some chords like that, when you've got kind of a dirty sound, if you pick it really close to the bridge, it'll give you a lot of clarity. And I've got a flanger in the circuit there, and you get all that high end out of that sweeping chord, and it really makes that flanger sing. The thing about a lick like that is that if you don't put 100% of your guts and emotion into it, you might as well not play it, you know, because the artist that recorded that put 100% of himself into it. It's not just notes, you know, you gotta put yourself into it. We played clubs many years and did a lot of top 40 stuff, but we chose songs that we could really put our heart and soul into, like Beatles, Yes, Led Zeppelin. For us, it wasn't a matter of parroting somebody's music. It was a matter of knowing these songs had great depth and profundity and reproducing that in tribute to those artists using a stereo delay. I like to put in like between 20 and 28 millisecond delay on the left side just to fatten it up. And then on the right side, we used 360 milliseconds. And that just fit well for Mistral Wind. The feedback on the left side, not much at all. Maybe 5%. On the right side, feedback or foldback or repeats, number of repeats. You want enough so that it's going to be really obvious, but not so much that it's going to get in the way. And the volume of the right side should be equal to the fundamental. So you can hear that first repeat is just as loud as the fundamental. Pretty sweet. Anytime you play through a stereo PA system and you're playing Mistral Wind with that setting, be sure to have your sound man hard pan your two sides. And when you play these volume swells, that whole room will come alive with magic. Yeah, so at the end of the song, start with your whammy bar down and Mistral Wind. You gotta find the magic to be able to really play it.